Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing all the different books that I read in 2024 and what ones I liked, didn't like, and which ones I would recommend. So I don't have all of the books with me at the moment, but I will be putting pictures up on the screen. So in January 2024 I got a brand new Kindle. I think it's just the Kindle Paperwhite, the signature one, I'm not too sure. I don't have it with me, it's somewhere in the house. I didn't think about bringing it here, but I got Kindle Unlimited straight away, and the book that I was already reading, which I do have the physical copy of too, is Confessions of a First-Time Mum. So it was actually in the works, and I think my mum got it for me for Christmas that year, so 2023 December, and I started reading it and then I finished reading it on my Kindle. Now it's not really a book that I would normally go for, because it's not like, I'm not saying I only go for popular books, but obviously popular books are better a lot of the time, not always, because sometimes the popular books are just not very good, as you'll see in this video. The book, it was really good. I wouldn't say it's anything amazing, but I think at the time, because I had just become a new mum, so I was 4 months postpartum then, I think, in January, because I had her in September 2023. So yeah, 2024, so it was a good time to read that sort of book. So it did help me out a lot, and there was a couple of relatable things in there which I annotated on my Kindle. I need to put those annotations into the real book though, because I feel like it would look better. But I don't think it's one I would reread or not anytime soon, but it was a good start to the year. So after that I was searching on my Kindle and I found the Chestnut Spring series. So if you know books, then you'll know Chestnut Spring series is really popular by Elsie Silver, and once I read them, they were my favourite books ever. I love them. So they are a cowboy romance, and there are 5 books in the series. Now I haven't actually read the last one. People don't know this because I always say that it's my favourite series, but I have not read the last one, so I really need to do that. But I feel like the start of the year I started slowing down with the reading, so I read Flawless, which is the first one, and I absolutely loved it. A lot of people hate on this book for some reason, I don't really know, but I really liked that book, and I never thought about how it could be hated on or whatever, but yeah, I really loved that book. And then Heartless, which is most people's favourite, I do love that book. People say because of Daddy Cade. He's a single dad, and then Wilma is like the love interest for that book. The first one's about Ren and Summer, and then yeah, Wilma is Summer's best friend, so they're all kind of linked, and then Ren is Cade's brother, so they're, all the men are kind of like brothers, or you'll see further down the line they're not brothers, but they're like linked, and then all of the girls are kind of linked too. So yeah, there's Summer, who's best friends with Wilma, and then the third book is Powerless, and that is about Sloane and Bert, their childhood best friends, and that's that. I don't think Sloane's not related to any of the girls, but they know each other because they're childhood best friends, I think. So that's like friends to lovers. And then, so Powerless is one of my favourites, and then the next one, which is Reckless, is my favourite of the series, and it's about Winter, who is Summer's sister, so Summer and Winter, which is quite cool. And it is the pregnancy trope, which I feel like a lot of people wouldn't like, but I think I actually enjoy it. I think being a mum, I enjoy it more. I don't know if that really makes sense, but I absolutely loved that book. And then obviously the last one is Hopeless, which is about Harvey, and I can't remember the girl's name because obviously I haven't read the book, but I started reading it when I was on holiday last year, and I just never finished reading it and just moved on. So I definitely need to go back to that. I think because I'd read so many in a row, I just needed to have a break and then go back to it. But Chestnut Spring series, honestly, 5-star reads all round. Reckless could be a 6-star because I love that book. So after I finished the Chestnut Spring series, I'm not too sure in the exact order, but I think one of the next ones I read was The Locked Door, because I joined a book club during the middle of the year. So it took me ages to read the Chestnut Spring series, because for some reason when I was reading Powerless, I took so long to read it, and I didn't realise that I was taking so long to read it. I don't know why, for some reason it took me ages to read that book, and then obviously I whizzed through Reckless because I loved it. But I think, yeah, the next ones that I read were The Locked Door, which was with my book club, which is the first one I actually read in my book club. So by Freida McFadden. Freida McFadden this year has honestly She is amazing. I love her books. There's not one book that I don't like, but I think The Locked Door was definitely the worst out of the best, if that makes sense, because all her books are really good, but I feel like The Locked Door was the worst of hers. I would say I definitely preferred a lot of other books later in the year, but I'll get to them. So yeah, The Locked Door, I do still like it. It had a good twists. It had good twists throughout, but I feel like they kept leading you down the They kept leading you down the wrong road too many times, where the plot twist at the end and the ending just kind of came out of nowhere to me. And I feel like if there's not a way that you can kind of guess it, like, and do you know what I mean? Then I feel like it's not as good of a twist. I feel like there should be a way, like, you're not going to guess it, but there is a way and it does kind of make sense. But I feel like The Locked Door, that's just one in my brain where I'm like, I'm not too sure. I was a bit disappointed by the ending of that one. And then after The Locked Door, it could have been after or before, I'm not sure, I read It Ends With Us. So I got It Ends With Us, I think it was for 2021 or 2022 for Christmas, and I was so excited about the book. I didn't read it. I don't know what it was, but last year I really got into my reading, and now I'm so much more into my reading because I've been a reader my whole life. I've always loved reading, but I've just never been as into reading as I have last year. And obviously It Ends With Us was coming out as a movie, so I really needed to make sure that I'd read it. So I read It Ends With Us, and I know there's so much controversy over Colleen Hoover, but I still want to read her books. Her books are still good to me, and I'm not going to say her books are bad just because of all the controversy between that and obviously Blake Lively now and all of that. But anyways, I read that book and I actually did really like it. It is a really important story, I feel like. And also after that I read It Starts With Us, and that has got loads of hate. Like, nobody likes that book, but I actually really like it, and I think maybe I could prefer it slightly to the first one. I don't know what it is. I just love, like, Atlas and her, and the story of them seeing, like, the parenting work with her daughter. I can't remember what her daughter's name is. I read it so long ago. But then I watched the movie and I was slightly disappointed, but it was good. But compared to the book, I was disappointed because I just read the book. So after those two books, what did I read? I'm not too sure the order of what I read the rest of these books, but I know that I've read them, so I'm just going to go like that because I feel like that's going to be the easiest way. So I started reading The Housemaid, and I read that book in literally, I think it was 2 days. That was such a good book. For a second Freida McFadden book, I've gone from like one of my least favourite ones to literally one of my favourite ones. The Housemaid is so good, but I still haven't read the second and third. Definitely need to get into reading those two in this next year, because the first one was so good and everyone says the second and third are just as good. So yeah, the book is amazing. I loved all the twist. I absolutely loved the ending. I did not expect the twist at all, and I think it was such a good twist. Like, I love that book, and I don't know why I've never picked up the second and third one. Like, I really need to do that and read them. I literally had them on my bookcase, and they're on Kindle Unlimited. So if anyone wants to try out a Freida McFadden book, they're on Kindle Unlimited if you have a Kindle, and if you have Kindle Unlimited, definitely worth getting Kindle Unlimited. There's so many books on there for free. Some other Freida ones that I read, because I'm not too sure on the order, is One by One, and I actually really liked that. It's basically like a group of friends are going on holiday and kind of get stranded in the woods, and then they're trying to make their way to this cabin that I think it's a cabin or a hotel or something that they're trying to get to, and they're just going through this whole thing, and things start to happen one by one. But it's such a good ending of that book as well. I really like that one. And then I also read The Boyfriend. Do not get me started on that book. That book I feel like is it's definitely in my top 3 of the year. I loved that book. The twists, just the whole book, the whole time. I think I read it all in 2 goes, but it was like an evening and then through the night, and then I watched it, read it, finished it the next day. Absolutely love that book. Honestly, it's so good. If I recommend one book for the year, well, there might be others that I'd recommend, but definitely that one. I loved The Boyfriend. It's such a good book. I read it on my Kindle, so I feel like I read a lot quicker on my Kindle, but I definitely want to get a physical copy of that. What other ones? I started reading Never Lie, but I didn't finish that one. I literally read just the beginning, so I need to go back to that because everyone says that one is one of her, some people say that's the best one. And I've also got The Inmate, which I need to read, which I haven't read yet. I think that's all the Freida McFadden books. So let's move on to my favourite series of the year. So obviously I said I absolutely loved Chestnut Springs. That was my favourite for like most of the year, but I've got I've got 2 joint series. So obviously the Chestnut Spring series, and the next ones that I read, the Boys of Tommen series. I don't know how people say it, if it's Boys of Tommen, Boys of Tommen, I don't know. I'm just going to say Boys of Tommen because it's easier. But those books have my heart. They broke my heart. They put it back together. Honestly, I've spoken about it on my channel a little bit already, but every single book in that series is so good, and they're coming out with Claiming 10 soon. She actually confirmed it, and I'm so excited about it. But yeah, those books, honestly, they're sad, but they're also funny. Like, you find yourself giggling at the book, laughing, the same thing. I cried so hard. Binding 13, finished it, started Keeping 13 straight away. If you're reading these books, you have to make sure you have at least like the first 2 and the second 2 like together, because they're like cliffhangers and they carry on. So the first 2 books are about Johnny and Shannon and their story, and then it ends on a cliffhanger, and the second book is about them as well. And then the third and 4th book are about Johnny and Ava, and their story is kind of like just before the first 2 books and during the first 2 books and a bit after, I'm not sure, but it basically is the same story told again, but from Johnny and Ava's story. But from Joey and Ava's story. So Joey and Shannon, brother and sister, and then the others 2, whatever. But it's such a good book. And then Taming 7, which is the last one so far, but there's more coming out, is a book about Claire and Gisby. Absolutely love Claire and Gisby. I've started reading Taming 7, I haven't finished it, but everyone says how sorry they feel for him from that book, so I definitely need to get reading on the rest of that book before the new one comes out, because those books, I can't stop talking about them, so I need to move on. A book that I DNF'd, so did not finish, is The Silent Patient. Now, I might get hate for this because everyone loves The Silent Patient, but I already got spoiled the twist. I can't remember what it is now, which is kind of good. I might be able to go back into it. But I just got bored. I was reading and I was just so bored of that book. I just got bored of the book. I read as much as I could. I think I read like nearly halfway. I just DNF'd it. I could not finish it. Another one that I did not finish, but I'm definitely going to come back to, is Icebreaker. I feel like I just wasn't in the right frame of mind to read that book, so I DNF'd it. But I'm definitely coming back to it because I've got Icebreaker and the other 2, Wildfire and Daydream. I've got all of them ready to read, and I really want to enjoy them. So another book that we read, which I actually forgot about, so is Let's Split Up. Now, I wouldn't say it's one of my favourites, but I do think it was a good book. The twists were okay, but it's like not one that I think I would think about again, clearly, because I just forgot about it. But yeah, I do think it's a decent book. I liked all the characters, but I feel like none of them stood out. I loved the little relationship in it, and I did not see the ending coming at all until I think I saw it just before it happened, but yeah, I was not expecting it. So I think that's all the books that I read in 2024. I'm definitely looking to read a lot more books in 2025. I'm currently reading Yellowface with my book club. Yeah, so I'm not currently in that book club anymore, but one that I am in now is my own one. If anyone wants to join, feel free to comment down below your Instagram, and I will message you on there and add you. So my group chat is on WhatsApp, but if you message me on Instagram, my bookstagram is here, my normal Instagram is here. So if you want to follow either of those, feel free to do that. But yeah, I'm in my own book club now, so everyone is welcome. But yeah, we are reading Yellowface as our first book of 2025. But if you want a video all about my book club stuff, definitely let me know if there's any more book videos that you want. So that's all. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you follow my socials, all in the description box down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Love you all. Bye. Mwah.